I've called it It's Time. And so it was a series of articles which have been going onto my blog. And then people liked it, and BK Publications took it up and created this book. So these are just some collection of articles on relationships. How, what happens when your relationships go wrong, how to resolve them, how to bring closure, how to keep them healthy. So it's not just relationships with others, but also relationships with the self. So it's in two parts. So this is a collection of those articles. But there's more on the blog as well if you want to go and visit the disease, right, in the mind, creating some disease in the body. So we live in a world really where everything around us is perpetuating negativity, if you really think about it. In fact, what is the first thought that comes to your mind if somebody is late? What's the first thought? What would you think? What is happening to them?
Unreliable.
She might have an accident.
Yeah, they've got an accident or something's gone wrong.
Transport, the trains and the buses.
Exactly. I mean, immediately we tend to jump to the negative, don't we? We don't think, oh, she must be having a leisurely cup of coffee there with somebody, or, having a leisurely walk or something. Immediately our mind tends to jump to the negative. So we live in an unpredictable world where really everything around us is actually perpetuating negative thinking, negative thought. And so in order to really go past that, we have to swim upstream, which means we have to go against the norm, and we have to really make some initial effort until it becomes natural to start creating a more positive frame of mind. Because it's not become normal, it's not become natural. It's become unnatural now. Back to the body, there's a Chinese saying, that 9/10 of the food you eat is for the body, and the last 1/10 is for your doctor. Because the food you eat is creating the sickness, which is going to pay the salary of your doctor. So how conscious are we of really nourishing this body? I mean, everybody's into health, everybody's into vegetarianism, everybody's into hatha yoga, everybody's into, going to the gym. But is that going to alleviate the pain of the mind or the pain of the heart? We live in a broken world with broken hearts, actually. And that is because somewhere we have lost control of the way we think. What's actually happening is we've let other people take control of our mind. We've allowed other people to control the way we feel. And actually we point the finger at them saying they're to be blamed, but we have given them permission to control our mind. If you let somebody make you feel unhappy, upset, distressed, annoyed, irritated, you're allowing them to make you feel this way. Because they're just doing what they normally do. They're going about their normal business. They're not purposely attacking you and saying, right, today I'm going to make her feel like this. Because that's what they do. That's how they go about. That's how they live the drama of their life. But somehow I find myself in front of that person and then I think, oh, they're doing this to me, which means I begin to personalize it. I make it a thing between them and me. And then I take the sorrow from it. I take the suffering. And then I don't like them. I don't like you, I don't like you, I don't like you. So now then I think, oh, well, if I didn't have these people in my life, I'd be a happier person. I'd be a more peaceful person. So then I want to eliminate these people from my circle of friends. But does that work? Not always. Not always. Because each one of us, has to learn the art of how to manage, how to juggle ourselves in relationships. Sometimes there will be a time to give, sometimes there will be a time to take. Sometimes a time to step forward, time to step back. Sometimes to be quiet, sometimes to say something. This is the art of relationships, knowing exactly what to do when and how much and to whom, etc. And yes, it takes time, but how we can master that is really if we go to the seed, which is our thoughts. Every disease in the world, I really believe this, every disease in the world is created with our thought. Somewhere I've created a weakness in my mind, which has created a weakness in the body, which has reduced the immunity in the body, where I'm susceptible to becoming sick. Because a strong, healthy mind will create a strong inner defensive system. And there's many cases of this where, same people are exposed to the same sickness. But those who have a weak immunity will, be attacked, will fall sick. So again, if we apply that to spiritual terms, then yes, the sicknesses are there, mental, physical, whatever, spiritual crises are there, but we have to build our inner immunity. And we do that by mastering our thoughts, by mastering our mind. Every powerful thought I create, every peaceful thought I create, every pure loving thought I create, I am building an inner reserve of power, inner reserve of spiritual strength, which when I need it, that will be available for me. Why do we sit to meditate so frequently? In fact, let me just ask, how many of you have taken the meditation course? Right. So now you must be meditating, right, on a regular basis. Or not? Little, okay. So if you put in little, you get out little. This is my point. The more you meditate, okay, the more you're accumulating power in the soul. It's like a stock, right? The more you work, the more you get paid. Isn't that true? So the more effort I put in to the soul, the more power I'm accumulating. So that means I will have more of a reserve when I need it. And this is the idea. It's not that when you in front of a cashier or the bus driver and you get into a conflict, you don't step back and say, well, you know what, let me just go meditate for 5 minutes and I'll come back. Then I'll argue with you. Then I'll tell you what I think. No, in that moment, right, in that pivotal moment, you really need to conjure up all your strength. But if it's not there, if there's no reserve, how can you withdraw? So that's why we need to take out time, especially in the morning, to really fill the self so that we can start the day. We feel empowered to start the day. Otherwise, really, we go out into that big wide world, big wild world, and you don't know what's going to come at you. In fact, actually, let's just do an exercise right now, okay? Just like you to close your eyes. And I'm just going to speak some thoughts randomly. And I'd just like you to feel the words. Don't think too much, don't analyze. Just feel the words. And just watch your feeling. So let's begin with sunrise. Ocean. An orange. Thorns. A knife. Elephant. A circus. Blood. A boat. War. Peace. White. And finally, myself. Okay, come back. Any observations? What did you notice?
Whatever we heard, we seen in front of us.
Yeah, so you see the image in front of you.
And we felt it actually.
Sorry?
We were feeling it. And when you said orange, so you can feel
Yeah, I
the
can
taste
smell
in
it.
your mouth.
Smell it. Yeah.
Right, you're feeling each word. So when I said orange, you felt the taste of orange.
You said sea, so ocean basically.
Yeah.
So I heard the sound of water and you could,
Good.
feel so,
When I said ocean, then
the feeling was there with the picture actually.
good. What about the negative terms?
War and
I didn't focus much. I mean, I felt it, so it focus wasn't there. It was easy. Came up.
You didn't focus on the negative.
I mean, I kind of did. I felt it as well, but it was not that strong.
Good. Okay, good. Very good. Anybody else?
I didn't judge any of it.
Okay. The lady didn't judge any of the
I
words.
just sat back and let the words be the words.
Yes. Good. Yeah, very good. Yes. Sorry?
I felt indifferent.
You felt indifferent. Good. Good. Anybody was feeling like this? Yes, over here.
Me, I felt the sunrise most.
Yeah. Good. Okay. Did you know that this is exactly what's happening to us all day, every day? When we go out into the world, when we see these billboards, when we see the newspaper ads, advertisements on the bus, hear people's conversations, hear the news, at home, whatever conversations going on, you overhear that. We are being bombarded with different words, right, that leave us swinging in different moods and different feelings and different experiences. Yes?
I felt that in person actually. Whatever you're saying, I felt that's what is happening. So I don't read newspapers. I don't see what I don't want to see.
Good.
I see what I actually want to see.
Exactly. Exactly, yeah.
Channelize myself because I'm very unstable now, like because of thoughts.
Yes.
They just go like like a wave.
Yes.
Doesn't stay focused.
Yes.
I realize the problem and
Yeah.
trying to work on it.
No, that's fantastic. That's why we're here. Yeah, we're working on ourselves to see where we get affected and then where we build our inner strength. Yeah, totally. So just be conscious, I mean, for those of you who said you're not judging, you're indifferent, that's great, because that's how we need to be. Just see everything for its face value and not be disturbed by it. Because this is where we fall sick. When we hear these terms, when we see these things, and they really leave an impact on our being. Like, really, where I come from, every day, they have these gory pictures of Syria. Blood and, torn down buildings and all these war scenes, crime scenes. And yes, I've stopped looking at it. Because I choose not to put those images in my mind. But those images leave an effect, leave an impact on you.
Yeah.
And then it's hard to get them out. So until we really, I mean, I choose not to. I actually, I'm not being swayed, actually, by what the newspapers are telling me. But I choose not to be exposed to that. Because I choose to put other images in my mind. Other more calming images. So that's where we really have to take our life in our hands and choose what we want to see, what we want to put ourselves in front of, what conversations even we want to hear. If you spent a whole day with a negative person, how are you going to feel by the end of the day?
Exhausted.
Exactly. Exhausted, tired, negative. But we are choosing. This is the point. It's not being done to us. We are choosing what is happening to us. Again, back to, when you're sick. When somebody is sick, right? They're put in isolation, aren't they? Until they become strong. It's the same for us, and there's nothing wrong with that. If I cannot tolerate negativity, or if it does affect me, I will have to step aside. I will have to step away. And that's okay. Sometimes we don't give ourselves this permission. We feel weak, or we feel ashamed, or we feel, we have to. But no, I think it's okay, politely, or even quietly. Maybe you don't have to say anything. You just have to say, I've got something else to do, and step away. And with time, as you meditate and you build that power, then really, firstly, I believe those people won't behave that way to you. And secondly, if they do, you will have the power to deal with it. And the other thing that you have to be careful of also is really to watch your language. Just as people are speaking to you, you have to watch your inner language. Because we also use these negative terms like, I'm sick of this, or they get on my nerves, or even things like, I need a break. In fact, I know one girl who kept saying this, in one country. She was working hard and she kept saying, I need a break, I need a break. Then she decided to sort out her closet, and she climbed on the ladder and she fell. She broke her leg and she got a break. So she was really like on bed rest for 3 months. So be careful what you ask for, because inevitably you will get it. But in what shape and form, you haven't made that clear to the universe, have you? So any negative thought we create, even if we think it's minor or subtle, it does leave an impact on our life in some shape or form. And so this is what I want to come to. This is where I would say we are the creators of our destiny. We are the creators of our stress. We are the creators of our stressful life. We are the creators of our disease. If we know the seed of everything is thought, then how much are we in control of our thoughts? How much are we in control of the intention of our thoughts? We might think that nobody knows what's going on in my mind, but is that true? Right? If you're really afraid of something, will it not appear on your face? If you really hate somebody, is it not going to appear in your eyes?
Always.
Yeah, always. So we always say that the face is the index of the mind. If somebody comes to you with loving eyes, with loving feelings, you're not going to feel that. You're not going to see that. So we cannot, unfortunately, we cannot get away with this crime of negative thinking. The more I become aware of this, I begin to really clear out the rubbish from my mind. There was a very nice slogan I heard over the weekend. I will not allow anyone to walk through my mind with their dirty feet. I will not allow anyone to walk through my mind with their dirty feet. I will not allow anyone to leave that negative impression on me. Because I'm choosing what experience I want to have, and I'm choosing what experience I want to give. Every time I react to something, I'm not a master in that moment. I'm a slave. So what's the opposite of react? Respond. So respond is actually to ponder on. Think about it first. Just take that moment. So I'd like you to really visualize with your mind's eye that you see yourself as this. So as you visualize, what are you doing? Sorry? Creating a picture, yeah.
Getting emotionally involved in it.
Good. Getting emotionally, let's say engaged, yeah?
Engaged.
Okay, emotionally engaged with that. Good. Image.
And I can feel it happening actually.
Good. You can feel it happening. You're watering, isn't it? You're watering that seed.
Watering the thought, yeah.
You're watering that thought with your conscious mind, with your awareness.
So we're replacing the bad thoughts with the right thought.
Well, that's one thing you're replacing. You've replaced it now. So now you've created these positive thoughts. So the more you remind yourself, you're creating that awareness. Okay? And you're creating a consciousness. In other words, you're now conscious of these thoughts. So your mind is now absorbed consciously in these, at least 5, it could be more, you could put 20, but in these qualities. Now, if you are absorbed in these qualities all day, that becomes your defense. Do you see? Where even if something negative comes, you say, no, that's not me. I can't take that on. I am this. But if you have not created that image of yourself, or you don't know who you are, then anything that comes along, you say, oh yeah, I'll do that, I'll take that, I'll come with you. You know, like we get swept away, carried away, washed away. And then we say, what happened by the end of the day? Yes?
I just wanted to say one thing to everybody. I mean, whatever we just came to know now with the thought and whatever we've been told so far, people in America just charge you thousands of pounds, maybe 10,000, 20,000 pounds. Let's just tell you the same thing. People like, I can give examples, like Bob Proctor, one of the biggest in the world. And it works, and we're getting everything for free, you know, and it's so nice. And with the love, actually, with the devotion. And, you know, no more words, actually. I haven't got words for the organization.
Thank you. Yeah, of course, I'm still on this path because it really works. I mean,
It does.
Yeah, totally. And I've been, as you've heard, I've been around the world, and everybody has the same issues, the same problems. And the antidote is the same. And we just have to put that little effort, you know, to reap the rewards. Yes.
I'd like to ask something. I've done quite a lot of, creative, the visualization. You were talking about if you're thinking about somebody, or maybe you want to be in touch with somebody. The nature of my career, I've done a lot of visualization. I've gone for interviews and I've actually seen myself in the part with the script in my hand. But I've done a lot, quite a lot of it, and loads of it hasn't turned out the way. It has not manifested in that way. Even I've tried to visualize going into a certain company, and it's become difficult. So I think there's a thing that one gets quite disappointed and disillusioned by
Yes.
this process. And I know it's that thing of detaching from it, putting
Yes.
it out there and detaching, but it's just that you
Yes.
you put it out and then it doesn't happen and you just think,
Okay, good point. Can I say a few
please do.
words on that? And of course, we've all experienced that, myself included. Many thoughts come to mind immediately because, as I said, I've experienced this. So, one thing that immediately comes to mind is intention. What is our intention when we set out to do something? Because really, if our intention is not pure, and I'm not saying yours isn't, but just we don't even know subtly sometimes, unconsciously, something is not quite twigged properly, and that's why the end result is not how we expect it. Let me share a story on this with you. So that, let's say there was a mayor, right, of a city, and he said, okay, let's create a lake of milk. And so everybody agreed, they voted on it, and they said, yeah, let's create a lake of milk. And so they dug this big hole, and he said, right, from today and tomorrow, everybody is asked to bring whatever, an urn or a jug or a bottle of milk, and everybody is to pour this milk, right? So it's a contribution from the whole community. And what happens is everybody, well, it starts with one person, he thinks, nobody's going to notice if I put in a jug of water, because everybody's going to put in the milk, so let me put in the jug of water. So by the end of the next day, what happens? What's the lake filled with? Water. Because everybody's intention was the same. And actually, I'm sure, knowing what we know now, is one person's thought, yeah, I mean, it got passed on. It flew to another and another and another. So although, something may start with good intention, but one negative thought can ripple out and create a lot of other negative thoughts and intentions and deeds. The other thought that comes to mind with this kind of thing is, just acceptance of drama, the flow of life. Because again, going back to this thing, like we think we know what's right for us. So I think that, I'm going for this interview and this is the job I should get. Because I've had this experience too. I've gone for many good interviews and I think this is a great building and nice, company, nice image. This is where I should be. But no, drama meaning the events of life, are telling me that there's something better.